Welcome to Attenuation, a weekly podcast where two friends come together to drink beer, discuss beer styles and trends, and just generally ruminate on the meaning of life, aka beer. If you enjoy your time with us, we invite you to become a weekly listener and subscribe to the podcast. Without further ado, here is this week's episode.
Hello, and welcome to episode 76 of Attenuation, a beer podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my best friend since 8th grade, Steven.
Hello.
How are you today, sir?
I am doing good. So glad that my week is over.
We were talking in the pre-roll, so I know all about the trials and tribulations of your week. Yeah,
it's been an eventful week, and now I just have, I got some furniture built for my kids' rooms.
Nice.
And some walls painted, so a lot of manual labor this week. Unpaid manual labor.
Well, are you ready to drink a beer to celebrate?
I am, yeah. I've been drinking beers all week.
Well, it's your Friday, right? So you can drink a beer to the end of the work week, at least.
Exactly.
I'm always so jealous because it's not my Friday. I gotta work tomorrow, but it's fine.
Now, do you work 5 days a week? I can't remember. Yeah,
I used to do like an alternative work schedule for years and years and years, but
I remember you had Mondays off forever, right?
Yeah, so nice.
4/10s.
4/10s.
That's what I do. I have 4/10s, but I have Fridays off, and it's pretty awesome. Especially
it's a great schedule.
Yeah, well, like last week it was Labor Day, so then I got 4 days off.
There you go.
So the Monday holidays make 4-day weekends.
Yeah, make 4-day weekends for you, that's a long time.
Yeah, 4 days. If you're off work for 4 days, it's kind of weird.
It's hard.
Although, like I said, my last weekend was so crazy and eventful that I was sort of like on Tuesday felt like I should go back to work.
You're like, I'm ready to go back.
I don't want to work this hard. I should be getting paid at least. So, but yes, very glad to have it be my Friday tonight. Drink a good beer.
Well, speaking of drinking beer, that is our first segment, the drinking beer segment. We both introduce our beers, give nose notes, and then toast and give tasting notes. So, today...
You bring something good?
I do have something good. It should come to no surprise to longtime listeners of the podcast that I'm drinking a stout.
Dang, you just got a fridge full of stouts right now.
Dude, I told you I did that incredibly expensive Tavor order and just filled my entire fridge with stouts. And then I deleted the app. So when the beer fridge is empty, then I'll put the app back on and refill.
Yeah, I was going to say we're getting into stout season, although it probably doesn't feel like stout season.
No, it's incredibly hot in NorCal right now. But you know what? I'll drink a stout any day.
Yeah, for Jason, it's stout season.
It's always stout season. All right, I have a beer it's from Styx Brewing, and it's called Eros, which is, I think it's all based on, I should have researched this. I can't remember what mythology. Is it Greek? But River Styx. Yeah, but this is the god of blind love and romance. So this is an Imperial Stout with lactose, and then basically it's supposed to taste like Oreos. So it's conditioned on... They didn't say Oreos because I think they would have gotten in trouble. But it's conditioned on chocolate and cream cookies, and there's pictures of Oreos all over the thing. So it's an American Imperial Stout. It's 11% ABV. I know I'm always surprised when stouts pour like oil, but... So it poured jet black. It had a super quick dissipating head. It was there and it was gone. And now it just looks like flat Coca-Cola, maybe. It has a boozy note kind of up front. But there's definitely chocolate, almost like a burnt wood aroma. Vanilla, and then there's a little bit of like a caramelized note in there. Interesting. It does not smell like it's going to taste like Oreos, but we shall see. What are you drinking today, Steven?
Yeah, I wonder if Walmart has like the twist and shouts, like knockoff Oreos. Maybe they use those.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
That'd be a good cost-cutting measure. Okay, sorry. Okay, so I am drinking an Anchorage Brewing Company, The Cabin IPA. It is an IPA fermented with thiol boosting Cosmic Punch yeast, then double dry hopped with Nelson Sauvin, Citra, and Motueka hops. And it has some lactose in it. It just says contains lactose. So.
Oh, cool. We both have lactose beers today.
Yeah, should have taken my lactate pill.
Are you lactose intolerant?
No.
Oh. I was going to say, how did I not know?
Sounded like a good old man thing to say. And I'm using my special Spiegel Owl IPA glass tonight.
I love it. It looks so cool. I got to get some of those.
I drank my Trillium IPA out of it the other day, and it was pretty fantastic, actually.
Nice.
Posted that to the gram.
Is it a picture?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta do reels now, Steven.
I know. You're fancy with your watch page doing reels.
Those aren't even fancy. I'll show you fancy ones. People put like an hour of editing into like a 15-second reel.
I know. That's why I can't do it.
I can't keep up with these.
I already have to edit the podcast.
Yeah.
These really do smell amazing. Like, I don't know if it's biased because I know, but like they smell just right out of it. As soon as you pour them, like the smells are just so intense. There's so much pineapple and orange, a little bit of strawberry maybe too.
Okay. Sounds like it smells good.
Touch of like dank pine, but in a way that complements the tropical aromas. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It smells good. Okay. I'm excited.
All right. Cheers, sir.
Cheers.
It's the end of your week. Okay. This one, they did it, Steven. This tastes like Oreo. I almost wasn't sure if I liked it. Now I decided it's like a work of genius.
Nice.
So it's like a creamy malt sweetness on entrance. Like it's probably due to the lactose, the added lactose. You kind of notice that right away. Then it's like chocolate, sweet cream. And then I think what I was smelling on the nose, I don't know how they did this, but it has like a bitter roasted taste. It's like bordering on smoke, but it's like somewhere between black coffee and baker's chocolate. And what I'm realizing is like, you know when you eat an Oreo, the actual like Oreo part, the chocolate part, not the cream, is a little bitter.
Yeah, it's not super sweet.
It's not sweet. It's almost like it's got that punch, that counter punch to the cream. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what this beer tastes like. So it's really cool. And then there's basically the finish is just like a long finish of that kind of smoky coffee baker's chocolate. That kind of reminds me of the Oreo cookie part. And then there's not really any booze, despite being 11%. And then it's just kind of creamy and a touch oily. The only thing I would mark against it is it's on the sweeter side for sure. But I mean, I kind of knew when I got a beer that's based on Oreos, basically, that it's going to be sweet. So I can't really complain.
Yeah.
So I'd give it a thumbs up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my beer's interesting. It is, I was going to actually mention too, the can art on this thing is freaking cool. It's by an artist named Wolf Skulljack, or it goes by Wolf Skulljack. I think he does a lot of can art for Anchorage. Anyway, check it out. It's really cool. I realized this is only 4%.
Really?
Yeah. So
it's
really low ABV. So it's like very medium bodied, pretty dry throughout for having the lactose added. Like didn't really bring a lot of sweetness or real like body thickening either. Like it's pretty light to medium bodied, but now that I understand that a little better with the 4%, it's got like a mild peach flavor, some berry notes, and then a little bit of dank and earthy bitterness towards the end, but it's very like kind of feels weak and watered down.
Do you think that's because of the low ABV or?
Yeah, I just think that like where they won with the like the thiol boosting yeast and like the aromas were really, really played out. The aromas were really strong and smelled good. The beer just couldn't live up to the aromas.
Oh, it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's actually, now that I realize it's a session,
yeah.
I think it's definitely good. It just, I don't know, like I said, it just feels a little bit watered down.
Well, if that wasn't really what you were expecting, it's kind of a...
Yeah. But that's definitely the one sort of description that keeps coming into my head. It's just like, it feels like, yeah, it's just not enough flavor. But it's 4% beer. I guess that's what I get. Should have looked at that.
Yeah, you always gotta.
I need like 3 of these.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna have to go get a second beer for this episode, especially because I'm an 11%er. So
yeah, we're gonna start getting silly towards the end.
yeah, and
I'm gonna be like the sober DD, like annoyed at my drunk friends.
Yeah, you gotta keep me on the rails.
All right.
So is that a thumbs down then, or a thumbs
That's a thumbs
side?
down. Yeah, I don't want this one again. I mean, it's
Bummer.
like I said, it's like a pretty decent session IPA, but even session IPAs are usually like 5% or 4%. That is Bud Light territory.
You're like, I'm trying to have fun over here. Come on, guys.
Verging on trying to make a non-alcoholic IPA, basically what it is.
It's okay. Come on, it's 4%.
No, it good execution of a session IPA, but aromas were way better than the flavor for sure.
I'd always prefer it to be the other way around too.
Right.
It's fun when a beer smells amazing, but
not as fun as when it tastes amazing.
Exactly. All right, cool. Well, that was our drinking beer segment. Next, we have a triple segment of postscripts where we correct or add to things from previous episodes. And I think we have a postscript that we were supposed to do, but neither of us wrote it down. So you'll get a double postscript next week.
Yeah. When one of us actually listens to the episode and actually every time I'm like, oh yeah, I'll remember that.
Never do. And then beer news, which is
sorry.
No, it's okay. We're equally at fault. Beer news, which is self-described. I think we have a couple of beer news this week.
We got some good ones. I'll start with the more low-key one. Well, first of all, Great American Beer Festival is not sold out. It's not sold out. There's still tickets to, I think, the Saturday session. There's Thursday, Friday, there's an afternoon Saturday, and then an evening Saturday. Pretty sure it's the evening Saturday that still has tickets available, which is insane. Because first of all, they're selling fewer tickets because it's a smaller festival this year, like 500 breweries down from 700 to 800 breweries that they usually have, which again we've said like can't get to all 500 anyway, so what's like, it doesn't really matter too much, but it is a smaller footprint. They have a little bit less space. But I don't know. It's crazy that it hasn't sold out. I mean, it was definitely the trend. It was trending towards taking longer to selling out. But I'm pretty sure by this time, I mean, we're 4 weeks out. At this time in past years, it's been long sold out. So
I think, we'll see. I think it
will sell out too this year.
Really
doubt. Weekend. Yeah, you're gonna get last minute people in that area that are like, they're still
gonna be like, let's do it.
Let's just go. It's still interesting. Anyway, we have there's a big Texas beer festival, the Texas Craft Brewers Festival, the week before that we thought about going to, and then 2 beer festivals in a row a week apart. It's a lot. And they came out with their beer list. It's kind of funny, a more local beer fest, because it's a lot of Austin. I mean, there's quite a bit of Houston and Dallas breweries that come, but it's really, really Austin centered. And it's just like so many of those beers I can just get all the time. You know what I mean? I guess it just doesn't feel that special because I'm going to these breweries that I have basically full access to if I want.
Right. It doesn't feel as exciting.
Yeah. So like, Martin House, they're up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but I drink everything that they put out. They have great distribution in this area, and they're pouring 2 beers, both of which like I've had, and I'm not that, so there's like breweries that are a little bit more outside of my immediate vicinity, or like would be longer trips or longer treks to be able to get. Still like I get their distribution, and I get to try a lot of their stuff, and they're not bringing anything that's like oh my gosh, I can't get that anywhere else. I have to try that. So it's kind of good. I'm kind of glad we didn't do it. There's a rule in Texas. All the beer festivals in Texas are like this. It's the Texas Brewers, I don't know, there's some agency, regulatory agency, in a state that's free.
There's a lot of rules
and hates regulations.
We talk a lot about there's a lot of rules in Texas, Stephen. I thought you guys were like rule free.
I know, it's crazy. I got in an elevator the other day and I saw that it was like inspected yearly by the Texas Elevator Commission. I was like, see, they love regulations here too. They love random government agencies that inspects elevators too. But yeah, so anyway, they have this rule where like your initial beer festival ticket comes with a certain number of tastings, like 10 tastings. And then if you want more than that, so you get like these little tickets and you have to trade in your tickets for tastings. And then if you want more than that, you have to buy more, and they're like $1 a piece tickets.
That's kind of lame.
Yeah. So everyone knows, though, it's kind of like this little hush-hush thing that if you buy the VIP ticket to the Texas Craft Brewers Festival, you get in an hour. It's an hour or two early. I can't remember how much. But during that VIP only time, the breweries don't really take any of the tickets. They just pour liberally. So
nice.
It's only like really worth it if you get the VIP tickets, and they sell out so fast. So that's a beer festival that's selling out within like minutes. The VIP tickets are sold out. Yeah. So I'm kind of glad that we weren't able to get tickets, and then it was sort of like, okay, that ends up being fine, because the next week I'm going to Denver for the Great American Beer Festival.
Oh yeah.
And I have 4 weeks from now to just sort of live on that hype. It's just a steady high of hype.
Mm-hmm.
Next 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's starting to feel real now that we're a month out.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a little bit of like beer festival news. Another cool thing, Allagash, we were going to talk about. So they are up in Maine, Portland, Maine. They just purchased 7 acres in Scarborough, Maine, about 15 minutes away from their tap room now. And they're opening a new tap room. It's like it's kind of part of a bigger like 500-acre complex of a bunch of different stuff. But they have 7 acres, which is a lot of space.
That's a big area.
Yeah, they're going to open a big tap room. And at first, I kind of was like, oh no, don't expand,
Right.
Like, don't get big. We know what happens when even very well-established breweries start trying to open too many tap rooms. But what I actually read a little bit further down is that this is replacing their Portland, Maine tap room. So they're going to have all their brewing operations and distribution and stuff out of Portland, Maine still. But the tap room's going to move to Scarborough. So
okay, cool. They're not really restricting themselves then. They're just getting replacing their tap room.
That's area. Cool. So I thought that was cool. And then the big news that's going to make Jason very, very, very happy is that Bell's Two Hearted, and maybe this is a great benefit of them selling out. They're going to reach like New Belgium distribution status.
Yeah, they're tapping into the distribution network.
So they're expanding in new markets. So anyway, this month, Bell's should start reaching Northern California.
I'm ready.
Jason is going to start seeing Two Hearted on his on the grocery.
I'm going to get a Two Hearted, and then I'm going to get a Pliny, and I'm just going to drink them side by side.
Nice. You're going to start feeling like I do, because I feel like distribution in Texas is like really expanded for a ton of different breweries over the last few years. And like I said, like I'm going to the grocery store and seeing Other Half on the shelves and just some ridiculous things. And you've been lucky because, again, you have Russian River on your shelves at the grocery store. You have some amazing breweries, but looks like you're going to start getting some national distribution of some stuff too. That's really
exciting, because I really like Two Hearted. I tried one. I've only had it a couple times, but I remember the first time I had it, it was when beer trading used to still be a thing, and someone traded for one, and he's like, he knew I liked beer, so he's like, you got to come over and drink this, man. It's so good.
That's so funny because it's like so easy for me to get.
It was actually like more fun when it was like, I don't know, getting illicit packages in the mail.
Of course.
Yeah. There's something less fun about just going and buying at the grocery store.
Agreed. Especially when it's just so easy.
Yeah. It's probably way better though. Like, hopefully it was kept in better conditions and it's fresher and yeah.
So yeah, Bell's coming to Northern California.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I'll keep an eye out. I'll let you know.
Yeah. Check the dates though.
I know. Well, and I'll have to go to the fancy grocery store. We have like a fancier grocery store. They have the better beer selection. But I don't do my regular grocery shopping there. It's too expensive.
Yeah, isn't that how it always is?
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, cool.
Is that enough beer news?
Yeah, the last leg of our triplet segment is Storytime with Steve. Do you have one for us this week?
Not really. I don't have a good beer story time. I do have a crazy story I was telling Jason earlier about my credit card being stolen. at a mall, and I think it's funny because I must have dropped it somewhere, lost it, and whoever found it needed some shoes, like lots of shoes. And then I was like, well, they spent so they went to Foot Locker first, and then they went to Journeys. So they got there's some kids some shoes probably, and then they went to Buckle, so they got some jeans, and then they went to the jewelers just for fun.
Man,
for their love for the wife, get something for the wife.
That's so nice of you, Steven. You just bought a whole family. You set them on a little shopping spree.
I know, courtesy of Chase, not me. Courtesy of my credit limit from Chase. But it was funny because we just kept joking about how, like, okay, if you go into Foot Locker, you've got a stolen credit card.
What do you buy?
What do you buy?
Yeah.
Like, because they spent $180 at Foot Locker, and I was like, oh, they got a couple pairs.
Nice shoes.
I was like, they got a couple pairs of shoes, and I was like, maybe they only got one.
That sounds like a pair of Jordans to me.
Yeah. I was like, they got the newest whatever.
You know what I would have got?
Just dropped that day.
I don't know if they make them anymore, so this will be this is a story time with Jason. I used to wear Reebok Questions.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
I don't know if you've ever seen them. They were, of course, Michael Jordan is the most famous, but I forgot what basketball player
Wait, Michael Jordan wore Reebok?
Wait, he did?
No, I'm asking.
No, this is, I'll look him up.
Oh, this is something else? Okay.
No, it's a different player that started.
Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha.
And I wonder if they make them anymore. But I thought they were like the coolest and most comfortable shoes. They still make them. Oh my goodness, they cost $160.
Yeah, see, he got some Reebok question marks.
Yeah, so when I was getting these, they cost more like $80. But I thought they were like the coolest and most comfortable shoes. And my wife did not agree. And I don't wear Reebok Questions anymore.
On the, okay, wait, so she agreed that they're terrible or they just like don't look good?
They don't really fit my overall aesthetic, let's put it that way.
Okay.
But I didn't. My wardrobe was not the best when we met, so maybe an experience others have had.
Has she fixed that?
Yeah, she gave me some pointers.
Yeah, all our wives have done that to us.
But that's what I would get if I had a stolen credit card and I was in Foot Locker. Relive my glory days.
You would just responsibly try to find the owner.
Yeah, of course. I would never use a stolen credit card.
But if you were going to...
But that's not a fun answer to the question.
You know what? It sounds like a fun answer to me.
Oh, it's Allen Iverson.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're his shoes.
Practice. We're talking about practice. Just practice, man. That's one of those things where, you know how you kind of like lose track of time. Like if you look at whatever year that was when he did that thing where he missed practice and he was like, practice. It's just practice. We're talking about practice. It's probably like, I don't know, 2008 or something. And you're just like, wait, how was it that long ago? Pull it up, Jamie.
2006.
Oh, even worse.
Yeah.
I guess 8. See?
Yeah.
Time is a thief, man.
So that was 16 years ago.
Crazy. I remember it like it was yesterday. So Allen Iverson was at his like peak 16 years ago. He's like an old man now.
That's probably when I was wearing his shoes about 16 years ago.
Oh man, that's just insane. Anyway.
Yeah, good stuff. So what would you buy if you had a stolen credit card in a Foot Locker?
I don't know. That I would. A theme of me is of my mind, of my personality, is. Have you ever heard of paralysis by analysis?
Yeah. It's like when you spend 40 minutes on the Netflix select screen instead of watching something. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like I can't decide like which thing to buy. Like if I'm researching something, I can't do it. I'm just like, I don't know, and then I just don't do anything, or I don't buy anything because I can't decide which one is the best deal, which one has the best features, whatever. Like it's too much. So
that makes sense.
That's what I would do. I'd be like, wait, I have unlimited money or whatever. I can buy whatever I want in here. I'd be like, I don't know. Let me see. Let me look around for a while.
And then you wouldn't get anything.
That's why my wife doesn't want to go to the beer shop.
Yeah. You know where I get all my shoes now, though, Steven? Probably the same place you do.
Zappos?
No. There's only one place I've bought shoes for like the last decade. Actually, not that long. Probably the last 6 years. Every single pair of shoes I bought comes from Costco.
Really?
Yep.
You get your shoes at Costco?
Heck yeah, man. You walk in, they always have like some Adidas that cost like $30. That's where you get them.
I've gotten some like running shoes at Costco.
Yeah.
Just some like, just cheap running shoes. I am a Adidas Superstar guy.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's what you buy at Foot Locker.
I grabbed the Adidas Superstars. I probably grabbed like 3 pairs.
Because they're probably not that expensive.
Yeah, and then that'll last me like 10 years.
Thanks, Chase.
Yeah, that's the thing that I got made fun of from my wife for, is just buying the same exact pair of shoes over and over again. White with the black stripes. Yeah.
There you go.
It's a classic shoe. It's a good shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Adidas Superstars.
I'm going to wear my Costco Adidas when we go to Great American Beer Fest so you can check them out.
Okay.
I'm going to get you woke on the
are they old Costco man shoes? Like, they're not New Balance, like white New Balance shoes.
They're like, they're all black with the white stripes. They look like Adidas, but they're like,
oh, okay.
So this is the thing, I swear, they probably get them, Costco gets them made. I don't think you would just find them in Foot Locker.
Okay.
They're like like if you go to Walmart and they have like the TVs. Some of those TVs are like specifically made to sell at Walmart. That's how I feel about Costco Adidas.
Like Westinghouse brand.
Yeah.
TVs.
Like it says Adidas on them, and they're probably made in an Adidas factory, but they're not superstars. But they're not bad, and they're like $30.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I can wear a pair of shoes to that's like a Toyota,
Mm-hmm.
You get a good pair of shoes, you can run it forever. I can wear a good pair of shoes, and then even they get second life, right? So they get to a point where like, okay, I cannot wear these like to a regular place, but I can wear them while I do yard work, so they become my yard work shoes.
Oh yes, the great cycle.
So now I have like 3 pairs of yard work shoes that I can cycle through. Eventually I will get rid of one, but I usually have those like multiple pairs of yard work shoes. Like one will stay in the garage, one pair will stay out by the back porch.
As they get older and dirtier, they get farther away from you.
And then at some point they disappear.
Yeah, they just get
because my wife is like, oh my god.
And she just throws them out when you're not looking. And then you just take off your current shoes, and then all the shoes shift one position. Yeah.
There you go. That's why I get 3 pairs of Adidas Superstars.
There you go. Now we know. This has been a good mental exercise.
Yeah. So that was my story time. It was a kind of a crazy day. I love modern technology, and I love sort of the modern like banking world, because you're like immediately some algorithm figures out that this is not you. Because first of all, they know I'm not going to
$180 shoes at Foot Locker. Yeah,
they know that. That's the easy one. The AI was like, "Oh, this is easy."
Yeah.
So I figured it out pretty quick. And the jeweler, I'm not going to a jeweler. So my wife listening to this now is like, "Yeah, he doesn't go to the jeweler." That's true. So the algorithm figured it out pretty quickly. It really
knew. Yeah, when you went to when someone took it to a jeweler, it's like, this isn't Steven.
Way. This does not fit his purchase history of Red Bull.
You better go buy your wife some earrings or something, Steven.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna trip the fraud alert again. So I love, just like immediately they reimburse all those charges and it's done. It's pretty low stress. Like getting your credit card stolen seems like it'd be high stress, but it's pretty low stress now.
It's only stressful if they steal your whole identity. Then you're in trouble.
Yeah, true. We have good names for that,
Yeah, we have high profile names.
We have we have weird names.
Yeah. Don't dox us, Steven.
No, I won't dox us, but I'm just saying. All right, if your name's John Smith, I feel like you're going to get your identity stolen like every other day.
Right.
Even accidentally, probably.
They'll put their birthday one day wrong, and there's like 100 John Smiths that were born on that day.
Yeah. You're just like, yeah.
All right, sir.
Sorry to any John Smiths we haven't listened.
Well,
your name is very original. It's
good in other ways.
Yeah.
You have other advantages. You can blend in.
Do you ever think, this is going to be a weird topic, but you ever think that about those things, you have to think of the most common name? I always say John Smith.
Yeah.
What would you say?
In English, that's like the most common name, yeah.
Yeah. What about there's the whole Like, what's the worst job? Flipping burgers at McDonald's?
No, I think
you can always work at McDonald's. He knows that, like, oh, you can always work at McDonald's.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the worst job though.
Well, not the worst job, but it's just like that. Like, oh, you can't get a job. Well, at least you can always go work at McDonald's.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's these like standards. We're getting to update those.
You need to update the standards.
Yeah, you'd be like, you always go work at Chick-fil-A.
McDonald's still exists.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you had to work at a
there's like,
if you had
I'm trying to
work
think
at
of
a fast
another
food
third
restaurant-
example.
Oh, okay. That 4% beer hits different, Steven. What's the third example of, like, you know, the common example?
Yeah, like a thing you just go for, everyone goes to.
A Toyota Camry in silver.
Yeah. Oh, I would say, well, McDonald's too is kind of that thing, like where, you know, if you're talking about like, does the company like pay its workers or whatever, you know? You're like, McDonald's, they make so much money, they can't pay their people more. Is it McDonald's? Yeah, that's the Apple. Okay, never mind.
I'm not following. I don't know where you're going.
Bill Gates. But Elon Musk is probably the new Bill Gates now.
Yeah.
But you know, like, you always be like, if you think of like a rich guy.
Yeah, Elon Musk,
like,
I think most people would think
like,
of.
Bill Gates could pay his share in taxes, you know?
Yeah, okay.
It's like the few singled out things where like you could probably apply multiple people to that. He's not the only really rich guy.
But he's like the one you think of.
Yeah. See?
I think it's Bezos and Elon Musk.
Yeah, Bezos for sure kind of held that for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Amazon. That's the one where you're like, these billion-dollar companies don't pay their fair share. Like Amazon.
Yeah.
It's like your first one you think of.
It's a go-to.
But I'll bet there's a bunch that you could do the same thing to.
Yeah.
That just people don't know about.
Okay, now circle me all the way back to the. What does this have to do with John Smith?
Oh, identity theft. How easy it would be for John to have your identity stolen if your name was John Smith, because first of all, how are you gonna fight it? Be like, that wasn't me. That was another John Smith. And then you're like, okay, dude, how many times have you used that? But for us, it would be harder. Like with a more, I mean, I don't know if our names are super uncommon, but they're uncommon enough.
Right.
They probably just avoid us. They're like, meh.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably much safer to steal a common identity because it's gonna fly under the radar a little bit longer.
Think about like a Maria Sanchez or something.
Yeah.
See, I don't have to do John Smith every time.
There you go. I see. You're saying, okay, I'm finally following this thread. You're talking about how when you think of the most common name, you think John Smith. When you think of the richest person, you think Elon Musk. When you think of, just go work anywhere, you think of working at McDonald's.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And you're saying
like,
we need to update
standards. Or just change them, or like, you know, use a different example every once in a while.
Mix
I
it
feel
up.
like McDonald's gets it hit hard, you know? My kids like Happy Meals. It's not the worst place in the world.
Yeah, because when you said the worst place to work, I was thinking of like a sewage treatment facility or something like that, where you're like...
Yeah, maybe if you like work there long enough, it just sort of burns your nasal
cavities.
Yeah,
you like
and you can't smell it anymore.
to the smell. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, do you ever remember when they would clean the grease trap at the...
Ugh.
Yeah, they would clean this grease trap out at the pizza place. It was terrible. I don't... But the guy's like knee deep in this thing. Like he's all the way like I would like gag. I'd be physically about to throw up, and this guy's just like in it. And I was like, well, I guess that's just
desensitized.
Can do it now, yeah. But did he? The first day was he gagging?
Oh, absolutely. You know how you get desensitized to something?
How do you get through the first few months of that job?
You gotta need it, man.
Without hacking. Yeah. Some people are willing to do crazy things for money. Start beer podcasts.
We don't make any money.
Yeah, the ones that do, they do way more. They do all this other stuff like DM companies and stuff.
We're too lazy to do any of that.
Yeah, way too lazy. Should be glad that we post photos on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't even do that. I'm too lazy. Old Steven's the only one.
Well, you have your own channel. You got the man.
That's true. I hate posting pictures in general.
He loves it. He's so good at posting reels. Look at that. You like actually are trying to hack the algorithm.
No, I've just noticed that Instagram is like heavily prioritizing reels now. So If you post a picture, it's just not pushing it to very many accounts.
Yeah, it doesn't get likes.
Yeah, they're just not
I don't
pushing
get likes
that
on
content.
photos.
Like if you scroll Instagram right now, like it's like 75% reels now. It's very rare that you scroll and get a static picture.
So weird.
Yeah, they're really pushing. They're pushing like a hard shift. So it's kind of stupid, but
Okay, well, you want to talk about the thing we were going to talk about?
yeah, we are off the rails. Because that
We're
was.
going to talk about beer today?
I don't know. We drank beer. We sort of talked about beer.
Yeah, it counts. Okay,
This is what happens after we do a deep dive. We don't want to do any.
Yeah, we're like, we'll just do it. We'll just talk about something.
No plan.
Okay, so September, hop harvest season.
Yeah.
Exciting, because now I am so hyper aware of fresh hop beers that I am on the lookout. Pint House Pizza should be having one drop pretty soon, because let's see, yeah, I mean, hop harvest is like a week in, so you figure you gotta get the hops. You got a couple weeks to brew the beers, so thinking like mid to late September we should be getting some fresh hop beers dropping.
Yeah, that's exciting, because those are really only available for very short windows of time. Yeah,
just like September, October. But yeah, we had the pleasure of going to Balebreaker Brewing in the Yakima Valley. They have their own hop fields, so they're both a brewery and hop farm. I was so sad that they were all chopped down when we were there.
We missed it. We like mistimed it.
Well, we were there like March? I think it was in March. And apparently, so they cut all these hops down in September, and then they really don't grow back until the summer of the next year. So they really start getting height in June, July, August, and then they get harvested again in September. But really from September to March, there's just very little growth. So even though we were like sort of towards, like it had been, 6 months since they harvested, they still were not growing.
Yeah, I want to go back someday, because they have like massive hop fields, and it would be so fun to see all of the hops growing, but they were all chopped.
Yeah. It's funny, I'm reading this article. A lot of like information I got today was this article from Balebreaker talking about the hop harvest. And this is something like their 88th year of harvesting hops. So they've been doing it for a long time. So it's 1932. So what? That's 90 years? 90 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But they talk about how sad they are to harvest the hops. Because just how beautiful the valley looks.
I bet.
And the hops are tall, and it's just like lush green hops, and then it gets all chopped down. So tangential to this, I was watching a show on Netflix, and it was called Europe from Above. Have you heard of this?
No.
Or maybe it was on Netflix. It was on Disney Plus, actually, on the national, they have National Geographic stuff on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm obsessed with anything that's Earth related or whatever. Stuff that I feel like makes me smarter. That's what I watch.
Yeah.
And basically they were doing this. They had a lot of it was like based on like seeing the thing from above. But anyway, one of the things with these huge tulip fields. So basically for like a week, these tulip fields are amazing. It's just full of red, yellow, white tulip. It's crazy beautiful. And then they bring these lawnmowers through and just cut them down. Cut the flowers off.
Yeah.
And that's because they're bulb farmers. They're tulip bulb farmers. So it makes the bulbs stronger if you just cut all the flowers off. And
I didn't know that.
And then instead of the plant sending more resources and energy to making flowers, they send more resources to the bulb, and they make a really strong bulb. And then they harvest those bulbs and sell the bulbs. But so they have to basically cut the flower to make their product. So it's kind of devastating to like have these amazingly beautiful fields of tulips that are only there for about a week, and then they just run a machine over them that just cuts the flowers.
That's crazy. They're like, we don't need you. Come on.
Yeah. So like a ton of people flock to the area to see them for that like week
that they're blooming.
They're gone. So anyway. Kind of the same thing with the hop fields, these like beautiful green, tall hop fields, and then they just get harvested.
Yep, that's it. And then they don't grow back, huh?
So it is a little sad, but hops are kind of a unique agricultural crop.
I didn't know that.
there's no need for them other than beer.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That's the only thing they're used for?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So, like, if there's no beer demand for them, then they would just go away. Luckily, I think they're pretty safe.
Yeah, I think they're very safe. At least right now.
But, yeah, it's kind of weird.
That is weird, because if you think about, like, well, corn is heavily subsidized. That's probably why it's so... They found so many uses for it, but they do all sorts of crazy stuff with corn. But hops, they just throw in beer, huh?
Yeah, because even, I mean, you would think, like, even, especially like fruits and vegetables, I mean, those are, like, for straight consumption, and of course going into different sauces and different, I mean, there's so many different places that these agricultural products are going. But hops, it's just beer, so there's got to be demand, which I think actually, I want to say it was like mid 2000s, maybe 2010, when the hop race was just so crazy.
Yeah.
In the craft beer world, that there were a lot of projections that there was going to be huge hop shortages in this country because of that. And
because they're just putting so much hops in.
Yeah, there was such a demand where I think it's come down a little bit. I think it's evened out between both demand and
other styles.
Supply. Yeah, other styles and then more hops being grown. Like I said, I'm super excited for some of these fresh hopped IPAs. The other term for that is wet hopped.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons is that hops are about 75% water.
Oh, cool.
So when you use these fresh hops, you have to use a ton of them when you're using them in a beer. Because really, if you think about it, like all the alpha acids that give your beer all the flavors and aromas and stuff, those are essentially watered down.
Okay, yeah.
By the water and the hops.
Because generally, I guess when they're hopping, those hops have been dried.
Yeah. So that's kind of your two ways it's going to go. Either your hops are going to immediately go into a beer, or they're going to be dried. That's just your two avenues. Because the hops, like I said, there's just makes more sense just to take the water out. Since it's not really what you want. So so they're immediately taken to be dried. And then that's a whole process. You can't dry them for too long or at too hot of a temperature, because then you start to break down some of the acids and oils that you want. So anyway, that's sort of your two avenues. You know what, the other thing that this is the trivia part of the podcast where we give the listener some amazing knowledge that they can use at a trivia night or something.
Okay.
But do you know the difference between binds and vines?
No.
Okay, so a vine with a V as in Victor. Is that what you would use? Would you use Victor if you were saying, if you needed to distinguish what letter you were using?
Well, now that you've said it, I can't think of anything else. Maybe Vincent.
V for Vincent? Okay. Yeah. V as in Vincent? Okay. I'll start using that one. Stop using Victor. Victor's around the world. Yeah, they're getting overused. They're like, pick a new name, man. V as in Vincent, vines. Those, the stem grows, but it puts out side growths.
Okay.
That grab onto stuff. Grab onto the and grow up. Okay. The vine with a B as in boy. That one's so worn out. Yeah. B as in boy, vines. Those, the stem actually is what, like, basically growing in a spiral around pole or whatever it's growing up. So the vine is spreading out like tentacles, grabbing on. A vine is, the stem is the one that's growing up the thing.
Yeah, so that makes sense to me, because my neighbor grows grapes, which is a vine.
Uh-huh.
And when they come over onto mine, they kind of grow over the fence, and they always like attach to things with these little tiny offshoots. That it's so cool, because they like whatever they can get their little I don't know what you call it. Yeah, hand around. It just like starts spooling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. So, but it's not the main like plant that's doing it. It's all these like little offshoots.
Yeah. So hops grow in vines. So they grow up the stem.
So the whole thing is spinning. It's not shooting out little hands.
Yeah. So when they harvest them, they have two cutters. They have a bottom cutter and a top cutter. So the bottom cutter comes through, cuts the binds at the stem, and then the top cutter comes and pushes the hop truck like through the field basically, and is pulling those whole complete binds into the truck.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, so they get cut from the bottom and then like basically pulled from the top back into the truck.
Huh, very cool. So they're just grabbing the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. So it's funny, but so Bale Breaker, their hop field is called Field 41. So they have a beer called Field 41. They also have IPA called Bottom Cutter, and they have an IPA called Top Cutter. So all these names start to like make sense because they just name their beers after hop harvest. Like they're hop harvest themed.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense now. Named after all the techniques and implements of hop harvesting. Cool.
And they go at about 4 miles per hour.
When they drive through the field?
Which, that sounds so slow.
There's a lot happening.
You ever been on a road where you're driving like it's like a parking or something, and it says 5 miles per hour? It's like impossible to go 5 miles per hour.
Pretty much.
That's
the car
like
can idle faster. Yeah. You can't actually push the gas. You just don't push the brake.
Yeah. But yeah, so 4 miles per hour is slow. So that's why the harvest basically goes on 24 hours. They just keep going because that's how long, like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for basically the whole month of September. That's how long it takes them to get through their
at 4 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It is slow. I always thought it was slow, but that's slow. Yeah, okay, so some of the ways they know that the hops are ready, they squeeze them. Mm-hmm. Apparently, if you like squeeze them and it just crackles a little bit, because what you want is the hops to be drying already in the heat.
Naturally.
So that heat comes in that late July, August time, and then they start to dry out in the heat. You just want them to be just barely starting to dry out. Also, if you take the hops and you rub them in your hands, the smell should be a little bit oniony, a little garlicky.
Oh, interesting.
That's a sign that they're ready for harvest. You want hops to be just a tad bit overripe. Underripe hops, useless. Because really those alpha acids that you need and you want from the hops really developing towards the tail end of their ripeness. So
did I give
you
a lot of good facts? Yeah, a lot of good hop harvesting facts.
So then, of course, those hops are you're drying them. That's your one. Like they're either going straight to a beer or you're going to dry them. And then that's where you have all these hop products coming from, right? You can have like hop pellets where they mash a bunch of the dried hops together into little pellets. That's kind of their most common, probably I would say your most common beer brewing ingredient is a hop pellet. But of course, some places are using whole hops, like dried hops, but whole. And then you have all these fancy liquid hop extracts now that, unfortunately, my APA didn't have any of those in it. Sometimes Anchorage uses all the things, Cosmic Punch yeast powder. And the Phantasm powder and the what did we call that? Incognito.
Yeah, they've really leaned into that stuff, which is interesting.
Yeah, they can process it. It turns it almost into like this honey-like goop, and that's what that like incognito hops is. And it's the most efficient way to get all those hop flavors and oils and stuff, but it's just a different way. Sometimes I think that's why this actually, not that those products are in this beer, but the thiol boosting yeast, it's so gimmicky in a way because it gives you these hop-like aromas, things that would come from the hops, but they're not using hops to get them. I think that's why it falls flat a little bit. Get this great nose, and then the beer's not, doesn't taste that good.
Yeah.
Seems kind of silly.
It is kind of silly.
So I think if you use the thiol boosting yeast in the context of like a very hopped beer, like a fresh hopped beer or something where you're really getting a ton of oils, I think that would be better because then you're boosting the aromas, but then the taste follows.
Yeah.
But if you're boosting the aromas on a session IPA and then it tastes watered down, it's kind of like, is that really necessary? Yeah.
A lot of effort for, Very cool.
Yeah. So I would say just to look out for fresh hop beers. I think that's...
Yes, definitely.
It is the season. I think they're becoming more
not just more popular, but more. I just think they're easier to find now. A lot of breweries are having these hops shipped in, and they're using them immediately, even though they're not. It's right there in the Yakima Valley, but they're working with these hop farmers to get the hops as quick as they can back to their brewery and brewing fresh hop IPAs. So I feel like they're everywhere. They're a little bit easier to find, and go for it. I love them. I mean, if you like hops at all, I love the sort of oily flavor you get.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's a very seasonal thing, but kind of a different experience you can have.
Have you had a fresh hop beer yet?
So the only one I've had is the Celebration Ale from Sierra Nevada. It's
right. Okay.
Fresh hopped.
That's right.
But I want to try more because, I don't know, it's a cool concept.
Yeah. No, I love it just like coats your mouth in these alpha acid oils. It's the best.
Yeah.
Tastes all piney and earthy, but you just get all those great earthy flavors with the tropical flavors and this oily substance that coats your mouth. Pretty great.
Yeah, I want to try more. That sounds so cool. I don't think the Celebration one is that pronounced, but it's definitely like hoppy, earthy hoppy, like different. Yeah. All right, sir. Well, I think we can call that an episode. If you want to reach out to us, we're available at contact.attenuation@gmail.com. And we're also on Instagram at attenuation.podcast. This has been episode 76 of Attenuation, a beer podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my best friend since 8th grade, Steven.
He's had a lot of stout here, okay?
My 11% is kicking in.
He's looking sleepy.
Yeah. We got a late start, too. I'm fading.
All right, man. Okay, let's wrap it up. Did you say, What did you say? Did you say this is episode 76?
I said
I can do it for
stuff.
you.
No, I said it already.
Oh, okay.
Who's fading here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Well, cheers, and we'll see you guys next week for episode 77.
All right, cheers, buddy.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Attenuation, a beer podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and follow us on Instagram or Facebook for more fun content. Catch you next week. Cheers!